Hello and welcome. Behind me is my Range Rover L322. Today we're going to go into all the pitfalls that I've come across after purchasing this Range Rover. Now the first item is the colour. Now I tend to purchase cars when they are rock bottom prices. Basically I tend to go onto eBay and buy the cheapest that I can find. Unfortunately, in general, you tend to find that the colours that are at the bottom in terms of the price range are usually black or white or silver. If you're planning to keep one of these cars for a long time, I'd recommend that you definitely choose a colour that you can live with. I didn't have the opportunity to pick this colour because it came with the 2,500 price tag that was simply unbelievable. I still don't think you'll ever purchase another TDV8 4.4 Range Rover in that price range. I believe I got one at the lowest possible price. If there's going to be a variance, it's going to be probably £1,000, and that car will not be able to be restored like this one. So if you're looking to purchase a Range Rover, if you're looking to keep it for a very long time, then you absolutely need to make sure that it is in a colour that you like. I don't mind black, if I'm honest. I would prefer not to have a black car. I would prefer not to have a black or silver or white car because I think that they are boring, frankly. But this still looks really good. If you look at the sales numbers for Range Rovers, a lot of them tend to be black or white, so it's no surprise that I ended up purchasing a black one. My personal favorite color is a blue, almost like a Macau blue. My cousin had a Series 1 Range Rover in that sort of dark navy blue color. Fantastic color. Now at the moment there's a whistling noise at the moment when you drive the car. I believe that it's down to the tensioners. So the engine obviously has had a full engine rebuild, and one of the things that I should have purchased at the time were some of these ancillaries. So at the front of an engine, it doesn't matter whether it's a petrol or a diesel engine, there are a number of ancillaries. I might see if I can jump to a video. You can definitely hear the pulley. It's a squeaking noise. So hopefully we'll get that replaced. As I've mentioned, we've already got some replacement parts. So let's just have a quick look here. And there. These are obviously the brake discs. We've got some oil. These are the pads in there, and these are the tensioners and belts and pulleys. So another big annoying item on this car is the steering rack. Now when you're driving, the steering is very loose, and when you basically move the steering wheel the way that I am with my hands at the moment, it continues going straight. So you'd expect that when you shift the steering wheel a bit to the right or a bit to the left, that the car moves with the motion of the steering wheel. It's very, very loose, and I'd say that that's one of the least favorite parts about the Range Rover. So if you're looking to buy one of these cars, make sure you take the car out for a drive. I couldn't, obviously, because I bought this car sight unseen off of eBay. It was a non-runner anyway. Next up we have the wiring at the front of the car. Now when I purchased this car, the air suspension wasn't working, and towards the left hand side here there is the air suspension for this wheel here, and there's a point here where there's a bunch of wiring. Now when you replace the air suspension, you need to basically unplug the wiring, and somebody has made a complete dog's breakfast of this wiring. And in fact, when you turn the engine on, sometimes if you leave the car for a very long time, like 3, 4, 5 days, and then you turn the engine on for the first time, the front of the car doesn't sound normal at all. It's almost as if it's going through the wrong kind of startup procedure, really, where it's confused. It's definitely something that will be noticed by somebody if you come to sell the car. So if you look here, all of this wiring is absolutely appalling and contributes to the poor startup sequence of this vehicle. So if you're purchasing a Range Rover, just be sure you inspect both the right hand side. So this is all perfect, there are no issues on this side, everything looks a-okay, but there are loads of issues on here, where you can see that this is just terrible wiring, frankly. You can tell by the battery here that there's some specific screws that should be there that are missing, that points to a sloppy technician. Here, these headlights, if you look there, that has snapped off, that should be screwing into there, and likewise that should be screwing into there. So when these headlights have been removed, somebody has broken that tab off, and that has resulted in an MOT advisory. You can see that this one has already had some repair. This is almost like some plaster of Paris or something like that. That didn't really last too long, so we're going to try and get these corrected, because these headlights are very popular, consequently very expensive. So I don't think that they look too bad at the moment, so yeah, it would be worth keeping these to save ourselves probably another £1,500. The next item are these wheels. Now, Range Rover wheels are very expensive from the main dealer. To get these wheels new, even these 20-inch wheels are going to cost you minimum £5,000, I'd say 4 to 5 grand. The larger wheels, the diamond cut wheels, you're talking £6,000–7,000. Yeah, so if you're going to be purchasing a Range Rover and the wheels are as badly corroded as these ones, then it's going to cost quite a bit of money to get some replacement wheels. Now, I tend not to prefer refurbished wheels, though they're better than corroded wheels, so I'll be definitely taking these wheels to get powder coated again. Unfortunately, when you powder coat them, like these silver ones, you can't use a similar silver because the imperfections are still visible, so you tend to have to basically pick a grey or a black. Now, I believe it's sacrilege having black wheels on a Range Rover, even though it's become incredibly popular, especially on the Range Rover after this, the Alpha 05, the 2012 to 2022 version. Yeah, black wheels are one a penny. These are the wheels and the corrosion that I mentioned. You can see it's pretty clear. This wheel won't even allow the hubcap to cling on. It's that badly corroded. And these wheels are the best part of £5,000, so you definitely want to keep an eye out for this corrosion. Now, the next item that was picked up on the MOT was the rear subframe that is corroded, or better put, it has some corrosion on it. Now, one of the first things you should do when you purchase one of these Range Rovers is to do some preventative maintenance in terms of the body, because the car is raised up so high, and it's October now, we're going into winter. There's going to be a lot of salty roads. The car is going to be exposed to a lot of corrosive agents, and failing to protect the bottom of your car, I believe, is just, to me, if you had to ask what is the number one criteria when purchasing a Range Rover, for me it's a Range Rover that's been kept indoors, or a Range Rover that has had some detailing to protect the underside. Those to me are more important than any sort of full service history that a lot of people tend to go for, because if you're purchasing one of these cars and it's been kept indoors, it's going to eliminate pretty much half of the items that are on this list that I'm discussing at the moment. So the UK is a very humid climate. Unfortunately, rust never sleeps. So one of the biggest obstacles really that you need to tackle with the Range Rover is trying to prevent corrosion, and it features everywhere, and this rear subframe corrosion is usually one of the items that will send your car to the car graveyard. So if you look back 20 years, cars used to be condemned at the MOT for one of two things. Usually it was the subframe that was corroded beyond repair, or the head gasket. It was usually one of those two things. Luckily on this Range Rover, the rear subframe can be replaced, but again, it is a considerable amount of work, and it's going to be, you know, in the thousands for something really that with, you know, 300, 400, 500 quid's worth of rust protection, you can save yourself that bother. So do try and ensure that if you're purchasing one of these Range Rovers, that you've had the subframe inspected, and as soon as you purchase the car, take it over to some detailers and ask them to do a bout of preventative maintenance by putting, whether it's under seal or protecting the bottom of the car. We've already had all the brake lines that had to be replaced that failed the MOT the previous year. Again, that cost, you know, £2,000. So we're now spending many thousands of pounds trying to put the under side of the car right because of the corrosion. So these are the main reasons why these cars end up getting put off the road. So for me, it really is one of the main things, as I say, that you can do to retain the value of these cars, because it's the rust that usually is the reason why these cars are available for £2,000 on eBay. The rear boot also wasn't ceramic coated. Now, I've recorded a few videos detailing the issue. In fact, I recorded a video earlier today. So I think what I'll do is I'll jump into one of those videos where you can actually see that when it's raining, which it does frequently, the tailgate will inevitably rust. Now, if any of you have got any ideas on how we can prevent this, how we can limit this, I'll be very interested. So I'll show you a couple of videos, really, as I say, detailing the issue with the rain and how it ends up getting caught on one of the sides and just slowly drips down. So hopefully, yeah, I'll jump to a video so you can see the issue. We have a cobweb, but the main reason that Range Rovers rust at the back is you can see it's raining and the water is running down. So depending on whether your car slants to the left or to the right, you can see that even when the car is stationary, it collects in this little corner here and then ends up dropping, which is why this bit rusts. So the key to stopping the tailgate rusting is in stopping this water, and it just seems to be here. You know, it's not like over here, it starts somewhere here. So if you're looking at the mirror, you'd think that the accumulation would start on the left hand side, but it doesn't. It starts almost 75% of the way through about here. That's really where the water starts to create these drops that then end up dripping. And there you have it. And so even if your car is stationary, it is rusting away due to the rain. So we need to try and come up with a solution to either stop this on the windscreen or to ceramic coat and just protect this area so this drip, drop, drip, drop. Yeah, so yeah, it's definitely the seal on this window that causes the tailgate to rust. With the tailgate open, you can see that rust is starting to accumulate. If we don't come up with a solution here, this tailgate is going to turn into a great big pile of rust. It is autumn, wonderful time of year. It's also chucking it down with rain, and a perfect time to show you this issue that I've demonstrated a couple of times before. You can see that the rain is trickling down and slowly dropping on the right hand side, which is what causes the tailgate to rust. So when it's raining, as it is right now, the rain flows down the windscreen and it starts off about 25% of the way in. In fact, you can actually see that there. You can see the water is slowly trickling down there, and it is this that causes the tailgate on a Range Rover to rust. This will continue on all day and all night as long as the car is being rained on. You will have this issue where the water collects and slowly drips down and ends up causing the tailgate to rust. So that is the main issue with the tailgate and why it rusts. I don't want to continue just to do nothing about this. I'm looking for a solution. Is it going to be ceramic coating? Please chime in with any ideas, because a lot of Range Rover owners just accept that the tailgate's going to rust. I don't really want to accept that. I want to do something to eliminate this problem. The wheel arches are another issue, where you can see there's this mudguard here. Now on the Land Rover Discoveries, I believe, they have a mudguard at the front of the wheel. Now some people like mudguards, some people don't, but the front mudguard is very, very good at preventing the rust that accumulates around here. Okay, now the L322 is known, really, as I say, for rusting around these wheel arches. It's notorious, especially if you're going to drive on salty roads, and if you can imagine, this wheel is rotating and the water in the rain is just constantly being sort of fired, really, at this part of the car. And so over time this is all going to corrode. So one of the first things you should do when you purchase one of these cars is to try and get the mudguard. There's a specific Land Rover Discovery mudguard that you can purchase that fits the L322. Getting that fitted on both sides of the car will more or less preclude the rust issue. So that's another important thing to do on these Range Rover L322s. I'll be getting that done soon, and I'll be sure to share that with you. So yeah, definitely look out for the wheel arches. Now the last couple of items are the cost of road tax, which is astronomically high. It's nearly £800. And you also have the cost of insurance. Now I am paying, I think it's 1,700 this year. Last year it was 2,300. Perfect timing. The new rear disc has just been installed. So, Haji. This is the disc that was on the car. You can see it really is corroded, and this lip here is just filled with rust. So the rear discs have been removed. You can see there's a nice new one on the rear. That is going up to do the front, and this is the driver side. Nice new disc and pads, and it's just the front that remains. That's a new one as well, so it's just one left, really, isn't it? So these are the actual pads. This is the state of them. It's that one, and there's that one. What was meant to have turned out to be a simple brake disc and pad replacement has been complicated by the fact that these bolts are completely rusty, and we needed to get some replacements. Now I've just been to the main dealer, and we'll see if we can get the part number. It's on here. Yeah. It's just trying.
Just put the camera on, and then I just take the cup.
Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure I get the part number. All four discs and pads have been replaced. The total cost for labour was 5.5 hours. We have brand new reflectors on either side. These have been fitted, so that's nice and new on the right, and that is nice and new on the left. Obviously the one previously had a crack over there, so the rear of the car is starting to come together. If you're enjoying the content on this channel, please be sure to like, comment and subscribe. It really does help with the YouTube algorithm.